Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Maheshkariya. You're watching me on YouTube now, and in this session I'm gonna take you through Deno using Sequelize, Typescript and Express. But in this today's session we are gonna use NPM libraries as usual because Deno officially started supporting NPM libraries from 1.28 version, so that's what we are going to use. Sequelize ORM, if you are not familiar about it, we use for all the SQL databases like Postgres, SQLite and SQL Server, MySQL, MariaDB and lots of other stuff like Oracle and maybe some other. So that's what we are going to use in this today's session, and I'm going to use this Sequelize-TypeScript library, which is really very cool because it supports annotations out of the box that you can prefer to go with, because in future release of TypeScript 5.0 you will see annotations will be officially supported by JavaScript as well in TG39. So hopefully in future TypeScript needs to recalculate all the things, but by the way, it's not the point of this session. So we are going to use this library, and we are gonna use Docker in order to dockerize your container. Maybe we'll go with the Deno container, but for Postgres we are going to use in this today's sessions. For that we need Docker, so please install it. This is available for all the systems, or you can go with the separate manual installation of Postgres if you want. That I never prefer to go with. Okay, and of course we can start quickly without wasting any time, so let's deep dive into it. So I already have this editor open. You can prefer to go with any editor, by the way. So I'm going to create a new folder quickly. I'm going to name it Deno with SQL or with Sequelize. And by the way, if you are not familiar about it, let me show you. Sequelize is officially we have a Sequelize library in Deno land as well, so you can use it. Deno Sequelize. If I search for Deno Sequelize, I might get Sequelize here. Okay, so I'm not sure, but I'm gonna use NPM one only because I need that another package, this one. So yeah, we can start quickly. So make sure to have Deno 1.28 version or greater than that. If you don't have it, simply search for Deno-version once you install it. Okay, make sure to install it first from deno.land. Click here on installation and follow this talk. Okay, and after that, once you have this, if you don't have it, if you have less than that, simply do Deno upgrade, hit enter, and you are good to go. So for now we can start with directly creating index.ts file over here, where I'm going to have my Express app, and Express app with the kind of new generation classes stuff. So I'm going to import quickly Express request and response from npm :express. Make sure to use this colon. This is really very important in order to proceed. So I'm going to export class, which would be my app. Instead of going with normal way, I'll prefer to go with classes, and make sure to use underscore if you are not using any variables, because it will be better to compiler to understand that okay, this is not we are using, so it will save that extra computing time behind the scene. And once you do that, here you just need to create new object of that your app we have listen already over there, so we don't need to worry about that. And here I'll say app.listen quickly, and this is it, and you can pass port here. By the way, I'm going to use .env because this is a good practice to use and define your ports and all the DB related stuff over here. So this is 3000 that I'm going to provide here. This should come from app_port that I need to import from config, and that config will come from official library of not .env. I need to provide https://denoland -x for third-party libraries denoland. Okay, this is good. Now I can extract the variables like this, or you can do this shorthand property and Alt-Shift-F and simply use this. If this is not there, then I need to check this. This is okay. this is string. I need to convert this into number. So for that I need a kind of typecasting. Let me see if I can get okay, so I have another option. Can I do this? Let me try this out if I can, like this. So here as well I need to convert this into to string. Hopefully it should work, and because I haven't used it before, like this. And can I prefer to go with number? Let's see, whatever the error will come, we'll see that later. For now I'll simply define string here, and I'll use that string here. So this is it. Don't need to make extra logic, by the way. So Deno -a for providing all the permissions, and run with your index.ts. okay, like the way you can see localhost is running on port 3000. Hit enter, hello world, we got it already. Now we can proceed with our models folder, where we'll provide where we'll have all the user and whatever your models you are planning to create, which will come from Sequelize. okay, so that's Sequelize, and here import from what, can't write form. So npm :sequelize -typescript. so here I can import model, I can import lots of other stuff like table, column, data type. Of course need to create it at, updated at, no worries, I don't need to do this, by the way. I don't need this thing. Here I can directly start creating table, and inside table you can provide the name, by the way, like this if you want. Here you can define your table name. You can define some other properties. Let me see if I'm getting suggestion here or not. Yeah, if you don't want created at, then what, created at false. okay, I want, by default it supports created at and updated at, like this. But I want it, so I'm not going to define this too, but you can. So here I'm creating this model will be user, and like this I can create, okay, name, email, password might be optional, so I can use question mark. Email is mandatory, can be undefined, so I'll use this out of the box. And this is auto increment, and primary is true. Let me see if I can remove this, because I don't want to provide it's all your choice. If you want you can, if you don't want you can remove it. So for now I'm going to not use it. Let me see what the error we are getting, by the way. So prefix with declare, and I don't need to define it here, and number only refers to the type, but being used as a value here, so I don't want this, by the way. Let me remove this, and here we go. We are done, I guess. If you want anything, we'll do this later. So this is like, you can use allow, null, false if you want, or if you want something mandatory you can use not null as well, like this, not null. And by the way, this thing you need to import from Sequelize, like this. So like the way you can use this annotations if you want, and has many and all the things. You can go with the doc. If you go with the doc, you will learn rest of the things, like how you can use has many operations. Let me show you somewhere here. Has many, can I click here directly if I can? Yeah, like this you can directly use has many. A user can have many addresses, you can go with this thing, okay. Belongs to, you need to write, and here you need to provide like this. So this is it. Now we can proceed with the further things without any delay. And here I just don't need to do anything, simply create your index.ts quickly, and in that index.ts I need to make sure that I have environment variables defined here, like database name, or before that I'll have host, and host is very important, which will be my local host. And database port, I don't need to provide port, default is 5432. Even if you don't provide, it will directly pick up 5432, database user, database password. This is it. I even don't need this port for now, so I'll pick this many of things from here, and I might need config again in order to extract variables from my, or you can use a common service layer where you can extract everything at once and then you can get separately. So like the way, so I'll say https Deno land, and here I'll have this mod.ts, and with the shorthand property like this I can grab all the things at once from .env. So let me grab this quickly and let me use this here, and if I can use like this, can I go back, can I use this? Okay, great. So like this, by the way, I'm using that option plus click or alter plus click in order to do this, and here I will be getting through config and class export database. Instead of, I can say init database would be better. Okay, and that Sequelize I need to import. I completely forgot about that. Let me import my Sequelize from here, and I don't have it actually, so instead of that I'll go with the NPM one. So I'll say NPM Sequelize Typescript, like the way. So you can see dialect is very important, and for that we need a drivers. If you are not familiar about it, simply go here and simply go with your Sequelize doc. So here somewhere you will see, when you click on the get started, you need to provide this MariaDB, SQLite 3, PG and PG store. So these two drivers are needed. So for that we can't install it. So for that we can directly import it like this. So import it using npm pg and import it with using your npm pg store. Let me use this. So like this it will automatically get, so you don't need to worry about this. And like the way, you have provided all the stuff that was necessary, and here you can directly authenticate and make sure to you have await and sync. And sync you can do force true or alter true. I'll prefer to go with the alter true. Why? Because every time when you make changes in your user, it will automatically alter once you start your application, so you won't lose your further data, and you can use this alter true. By the way, this is I do not prefer to use this. You can skip it if you want, it's all your choice, by the way. And here we go. I just need to import this thing, but before that I don't have Postgres running inside my system, so for that I might need Docker Compose. If you have it already, completely fine, just go with that. Else you will need to write few configs like services, and inside services you will be having pg app, pg database, like this, and inside that you can provide image. Image will be your Postgres. No need to, you can provide version if you want. I'll choose to go with default latest one. Restart always is necessary, that allows container to restart if something goes wrong, and this is the environment variable that we need to specify, otherwise it will pick up the default one. Port default is 5432. You can define anything if you want. Volumes in order to persist your data. If you don't persist your data, it will lose the data every time when you restart your container, and this is it for this thing. PG admin you can prefer to go with if you want UI, but for UI I'm gonna use another extension of VS Code. Let me show you in a while. Volumes you need to write here, okay, and this extension that I'm going to use, this DB extension. So for that let me quickly use, so I'm assuming that you have Docker available inside your system already. If not, simply search for docker.com and install it from here like this. So this is available for all the systems, by the way. And once you have it, let me run the command sudo. If you have Mac and Linux, you need to use sudo, by the way. Docker compose -d in detach mode means it will run in the background, so you need to enter your password before proceeding, and -d should use to Docker compose up is something that will up your all the Docker Compose things and services. So once you do this, you need to go to your Docker extension that you can grab from extension, and Postgres is running absolutely fine. If I go here, if I remove my older one, let me delete this, click on delete icon. You just need to click here and simply search for Docker. For this extension, you will get this very first extension over here. You need to install it, and for that SQL database, you can search for SQL database, hit enter, and you will get a bunch of like extensions that you can use. I'm using this one, by the way. So let me grab this, let me create new connection, let me close this up. Here you can provide name. This is my PG. By default, this is PG that I'm going to use, and password will be password. Simply click on connect. PG is connected. See in public, you don't have anything as of now, but once I create create init database, okay, so I haven't initialized yet, so I need to export this, so which is already exported. I need to import this here inside my index.ts somewhere here. So let me use database, new database.connect, and it should be await, okay, and this should be control plus click or command plus click, and you can use try catch block as well. I forgot to use try catch here, so you will get errors if something goes wrong. And here like this, you can connect with your database successfully, executing this thing 2 times. So this is, it should not happen, but not sure why. Let's go and let's see inside your database if you got the database already. If you click here in tables, if you refresh this thing, you haven't got anything yet, so this is not good. You should have something over there. So let me use, click on connect. Can I use connect? Can I create const db equal to database, and can I use db.connect with try catch as well? If something goes wrong, I can see here. Await, we can use Deno default supports await out of the box. So logging errors is a good practice, not in production, by the way, so make sure to use check before every log, or prefer to go with loggers. And like the way it will again it will be connected successfully. Now let me go to the models, let me go to the users model quickly, and here we need to check. I don't want this table name, I'll go with the normal user table, and that sync true we are missing, I guess. So inside index.ts, authenticate and sync true. So this let me remove this, let me use force true for the first time, and it's still not getting created. Okay, okay, now we need to debug this. So why this is happening? So here we are creating Sequelize. Oh, we forgot to use another one, public async. We don't need to close this thing, okay, so I'm just using it, but if you want you can close this, but we need to import, and here I need to use Sequelize. Can I use Sequelize here or here somewhere? Public async drop, no, I need to update databases, or I'll say add models, like this. Okay, so this is how we can add models, and all the models defined inside my directory, we can add it directly, or we can specify a single model like this. So this should be like this, models, or should I use tables like this? Tables so would be great option. Require, yeah, await is necessary, by the way. So add models, I'll prefer to go with add models. It should be equal, and here inside my index I need to make sure once I connect this thing, and before connecting I need to use add modus, so it will add and it will connect later. Okay, and hopefully we are not missing anything. So module is not there, so let's go there, let's import the model. Hopefully user is not there, so .ts we need to define, and we are exporting class user from here, and this user we are not sure where it is coming from, so I need to remove this. And once you do this, you can directly clearly see here this is dropping existing things, and this is creating I don't know why, but if I go here and if I refresh this thing, you can see user with bunch of these things. Okay, so here we go, we did it. And after that, simply routes and other stuff we are going to implement. User.ts, inside that will create a route. So I'll say again import router. Can I use or express? I'll go with the simple express thing. Express comma request response. Request, I need to use response once again from npm express. Then I need to export class user route like this. I can use like this, or I can prefer to go with another name like user router or something like that. Root is better, user root. So like this is the simplest way I can do this thing. And if I don't wanna, why I'm getting this as an, I'm not sure though, because I'm not closing something here. Everything is looking good to me as of now. Okay, so this app we are creating application. I don't want to create application, I want a router, express.router. so let me see if I get the options. ter router, so it should use router. So yeah, I'll go with the router. So this dot router, express router, this dot get and delete. I'm not sure where this delete is coming from, so it's yeah, it's got created over here, that methods we got here. So now I need to prefer to use underscore all the time, it's good practice, and this one as well. So yeah, now we can call that controllers from here. Okay, so what we can do, we can directly wrap those things. If I use, okay, let me do once again, 1 2 3 control plus, and here back, and let's use try catch. Okay, let's use res dot status will be 200, because every time if something is successful, I'm not sure, 200 is not good for all the things. And JSON would be your message, and make sure to use a separate layer in order to use constants and error messages and this stuff. It's a good practice. So yeah, this is it, this is how we are implementing the things. And let me use few other things. I need to export my error. Oh, I forgot, let it be. Let's log my error here. Error, it's a good practice to use try catch always. Okay, do not forget it, because while developing the code you should know how to track. And now with the easy way, I'll prefer to go with the controllers. And it seems like message is missing from here. Okay, and the log message is also missing from here. Now let's create a controllers quickly, and inside that I'll need I'll need to have a user dot, you can use user.model.ts, user.controller.ts. The naming convention you can choose accordingly. So I'll say export class user controller like this. So this is a good practice to use this. Then I'll be having a controller where I need to import first user. It is important to import user from models slash index.ts. Directly you can get it from index.ts if we export this thing along with no worries, I'm not getting it from here. So let's use user.ts instead. And is this necessary? Can I use here? Yeah, like the way. And here I can use get users like this. What we are doing, get user. Okay, so like this we can use, but this is not the right way. Let me do something else. Can I see what's going on here? Out of the box. I don't need to. Public async get all users, I'll say. So here I'll say await. Try catch is not necessary because we have used in a uppermost level. So user dot find all. Okay, and this is it. We need to return whatever comes here. ID number. ID can be number one, anything by the way. Find one. Can I use where here if possible? Where? Yeah, of course I need to use where, because without that I can't proceed. And like this, and the next step would be public async create user. For that I'll get create user from request body, and we can directly create user, but I'll prefer to do a shorthand property that I need to export user first. Okay, so let me do one thing. Let me extract the name, email and password. Okay, these are things are coming from my user, and this I'll be creating because I need to provide a created at and updated at out of the box. Password that created at and updated at is necessary. Updated at new date. These are the JavaScript functions. So can I use, yeah, so like the way you can use create, or either you can go with new user like this. You can create const new user. Okay, and this user you can save like old way that we used to do. So this is also a good practice. And after that here you can have update user. So process will remain the same, but you just need to cross check that do we have this data or not. If not, then you can validate the things and you can update that many of things only. So the last step is remaining to use a public delete user, and that should destroy directly without any further delay. So this is the thing that we need to do, and nothing else is required. And if I can import this here, I can directly use. Okay, let me try this out. return, or can I provide private variable here to have a user controller, and that user controller I need to import. Okay, and that user controller we will return over here. Okay, so let me store the result first. Const users will get all the users, then in JSON will return users like this. So same goes for rest of the things. Const with pleasure, I'm gonna get this user. Sorry, this you can do this, or it's all your choice how you prefer to go. And in here I'll again say const user. You can check request body or validate here. I'm not using validation stuff because we can directly implement on there, like itsmail we can directly use there on model level only. Let me show you here. If I want to use to check itsmail, you can directly use itsmail, and you can write email validation here at itsmail like this. Okay, so it's all your choice how you do it. And so for that I'll say here that return user. Okay, so if you create something you need to use 201. Okay, if you update something you should have something 200. Fine, default is 200, so feel free to use 200. By the way, now we are using request, so we don't want to use underscore. Okay, in delete it will same with delete as well. So like this. So if you delete something and if you update something, you won't get anything back. Okay, so after that you also need to find that user with that ID. If you don't find it, you can return it like this. Return the message, by the way. So let me do, and it should update something. Force to we are using, that's why now we can change it and make it back to this routes. We are getting kind of errors here because this user controller we are not using anywhere, or we are. What the error we are getting? User controller has no initializers and not definitely assigned in a constructor, because here in constructor we need to define this dot, yeah, like this. Now if I go here, if inside index models, now I need to use alter because we are done with all the changes. We don't need to force every time. If I refresh this thing, yeah, it's still doing the multiple things but in a alter manner. Okay, now let me use this Thunder client. If you are not familiar about Thunder client, instead of Postman we always prefer to use Thunder client nowadays, dev community. So because it takes bunch of your RAM, CPU usage, and most of the things you can do it here as well. You can provide your environment variables here, collections over here, you can create an activity. So I'm gonna do simple request here, localhost :8000, and here I have connection something, sorry, 3000 is my default port. So hello world I am getting, I need to use that route here. Okay, so let me remove this and let me import that router here. Can I use this .app.use instead, like this? So here express.json, of course I need to use in order to pass the data. We don't need to use URL encoded, of course it is not needed, but body parser is nowadays Express by default supporting the body parser, so feel free to use express.json instead. This .app.use, and inside that you can use router user use a router like this. Okay, so this should we need to import from here, and this router is a private and can only be accessible from there. Let's go there. Router, can I make it public and can I access it if I want? Router.get, let's make it public, and here I can use it like this. Can I use /user now, because we have made changes, we restarted the server and it's in progress. So now cache. Okay, let me see what I can do. Where is my OBS? Can I see somewhere? Okay, like this. Or we have one more option. Instead of doing this bunch of things inside a controller, we can directly remove it, and we can use directly controllers here. Like this controller should be called from here directly. So now we have another thing to do. Okay, like this. So this would be a minimal and easy to do, but while doing this return, I also need to make sure to have a constructor here, and that constructor will come with request response. Okay, so I should have this dot request. Okay, that will be my request. Let me see how we can do this. So we can store this in const users like this, and here we can return users, but we have to have data, and this should come with request response again. So res, and this request should come from express. Okay, so npm :express comma response, and same goes here. Okay, like this, and this request should not have anything, if not return users directly, and we can check. Yeah, like this with status 200, and it would be great if you manage this in a separate file. So we'll test this first and we'll proceed further later. Okay, so we have an empty array, so this is working fine for us. We can proceed like the way here as well. We'll be having request.params.id instead, which will be my number, and instead of this I'll do request response, and this request will put here, and this will put in a variable like this, and here will return accordingly. So this is my get user. Let me see if I can await. Yeah, this is await. This is the beauty of using TypeScript. Okay, here as well we should have a user, but that should come from request only, request comma response, and this user will come from req dot body. Okay, and let me do this. So this is looking great too, and const user that will come should return 201 status. Same goes here. I'll have a request which will be my request comma response, which will be my response, and here we'll have a request comma body. Okay, and here somewhere in where I need to prefer id to use, I'll use params.id, and same goes with response. Const user I'll store here, and I'll return it somewhere here, that everything is fine. Again, request comma request response comma response, and here before destroying it I'll store it const await user will get the empty data, by the way, so you can use params.id here, and this should be request. Okay, and this response will return here like this. So this is it. Let me try this out once again. Hope we are not doing any mistakes as of now. If I use -1, we should get null because we don't have anything to show for now. If I go to the post method quickly inside my body, inside JSON, I can use a name would be my Mahesh, then I'll go with the email would be my mahesh@gmail, then password would be my password like this, pass@123. I'm still not sure about this. Okay, it's creating automatically 1 2 3 4. And if I need to update this thing, I'll simply say at in order to check that update is working perfectly fine. We'll do this and insert into the user. Again, we are using insert instead of here you can see the queries. Okay, so here we need to check from routes that while doing post update user what we are doing. Okay, so we are getting name, email and password from request body as usual. We got it, and we are getting it here, putting it here, updated at, created at we can't update, so we need to update user, and that user we need to pass it here. Okay, and it should work if I go to the database. So if I check that we have a data but it's not updated yet. Okay, let me hide this, show this. Okay, I have tried another way actually. Instead of doing this method, I have tried this way. Okay, so also I have used try catch. If you can use it. So let me show you at Shift F. Okay, so like this you can have directly update user.update, where you can provide these things and you can use where condition like this. So this is looking good to me, and I'll proceed with the update. So update is working now. The last step is remaining is to see that destroy is working or not. So if I do at update, if I go here inside my user, if I check, so this is updated perfectly fine. Now I need to check that delete is working or not. So for that I'll simply remove this up, delete, and one is deleted. So you can see delete is done. If I go here, if I run this thing again, delete is done. So this is it for this tutorial. Thank you so much all of you guys for being with me, supporting me all the time. It's been pleasure to be here. Please let me know inside comment box what you want from my side. Definitely I'll make it for you. And don't forget to subscribe my channel if you haven't already, and smash that like button if you enjoyed. And you can use this thanks button as well in order to contribute. Even $1 is enough. So this is it for this today's tutorial. Thank you so much for being with me. Tada, bye bye. See you soon in next video.